Sister, good morning. How are you doing? See, just help me pray to God, though. God, this book project I've been doing all this while. Hmm. Just pray that God should protect it because yesterday I had this dream that even woke me up this morning like this early morning. I was writing this book yesterday around 11:40 p.m. because that was when I went outside to buy ruler because I needed to rule line. So as I was writing the book from that 11 yesterday, 11:40 yesterday, till I was awake till 3:20 this night, 20 minutes after 3 a.m. this night. Suddenly I began to feel sleepy, and then I slept off. I said, let me lie down a little bit, and then as I just lay down to sleep, I was already dreaming. So as I was sleeping and dreaming, I was writing the same book, that same book that I was writing in real life. I was writing the same book in the dream as I was sleeping on the bed. And right in the dream where I was writing that book, suddenly a flood from nowhere, flood of water from nowhere, just filled the room. I was rising from the floor down to the level of the bed because my bed is very high, almost like half of the wall high. So it was rising to the bed and covered the bed where I was, and then was carrying the papers away, the books. I was all those pieces of paper where I was reading, compiling the whole content, was carrying them away, including even my phone that was by my side. And I shouted, I said, God, how do I start this book again afresh? All the papers are carried away, all my the manuscript, everything is gone. I can't remember even the information that was revealed to me in the beginning. I can't even remember them again. So how do I do this thing? And a voice just told me, look by your side. And when I looked by my side, I saw all the pieces, the pieces of the book that were being carried away by the flood. Everything were put together by my side. And guess what? They were dried. None of them was wet. They were wet before as the water was carrying them away, but now they are gathered by my side. All of them are dried in order. None of them, no single of them is wet by the water. You understand? So then I was so excited. I was so happy. My spirit soared in ecstasy. Then my church, it was now shown me my church like we are having something like Bible studies. You understand? The my church was brought into the very scene where I was. It now appeared like where they were having Bible studies, and I was hurrying up to go and join the class because I was supposed to teach them because I had many insights to give them. So while I was hurrying to go and join the Bible studies, guess what? As I tried to hurry into the class, big three big, those big coaster buses, those big tall one that used to go cross country, big one, three, filled with white men, all of them Oyibo. They drove violently into the church premises where I was standing, and they double crossed me and they blocked me. And then they were pointing at me and said, this is the criminal. This is the criminal. Go and get him. I said, criminal, go and get him. And some of the faces in that bus, they looked like those some white men I had worked with before in the past. But some of the faces I didn't know them, but I knew some of the faces that appeared there like some white men I knew before in the past. We had worked together before. And so they say, that's the criminal, go and get him. And as they say, that is the guy, that's the criminal, go and get him. Come and see the crowd that was rushing out towards me. See crowd of the white men. They were oozing out towards me. And I was afraid. At first, I was afraid because them mentioning the criminal. As I was trying to remember what crime did I commit, I was already running away because of the crowd. I was running away because of the crowd, and there were too many of them. They were coming against me. And in that dream, suddenly, I was made to fly in the air without wings. I was made to fly in the air, and I found myself in a very large uncompleted building inside an isolated forest. That forest is like the uncompleted building is far away from the land of where human beings built house. Like community now. You see, there is house here, there is house there, there is house here. This one is isolated place. Like it was far from the community where you can find people. That's where I was carried into that place without wings. I was already moving in the air, and I was hiding inside one of the uncompleted building, the rooms. How those people, those crowd of people chasing me, how they traced me to that isolated place, I don't know. I didn't know who showed them, how they found me in that place. And I was hiding in that place. I didn't know how they came. And the voice was telling me, said, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of them. Beat them. And I began to beat them. And as I beat them, I was fighting the white men. As I fight the first one, the first white man, the second one, and the third one, I beat them to the ground. All the crowd that were white before, whom I saw, they were white before, suddenly they began to transform into black women and black children. Like all these African, those, is it Senegal, Niger, Niger women, they were transforming to black women. They no be Oyibo again. They transform to black women and black children. Like African women and African child. All of them changed to African women and African child. None of them was man anymore. And one by one, they were running towards me. Come and see the crowd. I fight tire for this dream. You understand? And each of them, as I dey fight, na so they fall to the ground. I go beat, I go slap, I go kick. Me wey I no get wind, I was not hanging myself in the air. My feet no dey touch ground. I go dey blow, I go dey kick, I go dey fight. And anyone that fell on the ground, I noticed that once they fell on the ground, they became weak and they began to retreat. They began to retreat like they were afraid. So after that again, as I thought that they were finished, another group again. This one now, this very group, they were more aggressive than the first group. They were now running towards me again. They came after me again. And the voice now told me, say, don't be afraid. Fight them. As I was fighting them, they were more. And then the voice carried me away. That same person, that same voice that was telling me to fight, suddenly I was carried away again, back into the front of that same church, that very scene, the exact scene I ran away from before. That's where I was carried to that very scene again. And the voice said, fight them. Don't let their hand touch you. He said, man, don't let my hand touch those people's hand to touch me. So I was the one beating them. I will kick, I will fight, I will blow, I will slap. And some of them, I will carry sand from the ground, I will pack sand and I will pour their faces. And I noticed that once the sand touched their face, they became weak and they began to retreat. Come and see crowd. They come dey plenty. Only 3 coaster bus. So wow, see 3 coaster. At least a coaster should carry even at least 50, 150. But once they came out from the coaster bus, they became plenty like bees. Like swarm of bees. E no gree finish. They were attacking, coming, running towards me. As I was fighting them, e no dey finish. I was fighting them, e no dey finish. I say, God, only one person. So as I dey fight them, they were changing. They were changing to little children and women, and I was still beating them. I will be kicking them and blowing them and slapping them and packing sand and pouring all of them. That's how I was doing until then the the three of them, there were now two. No, there were two that were at closest range to me. Immediately, I was able to kick and slap a woman and a child who were at the closest range to me, meaning they were very closer to me. The other ones were far away from me. Immediately, I beat that woman to the ground, and I slapped that child. The child fell to the ground. Something just tapped me, like just woke me, just tapped me on the bed, and I woke up. That's how I woke up. Come and see fear. This thing I'm telling you, come and see fear that gripped me. Now, the fear was not even about the people. I didn't even fear the people that I was fighting in the dream. My fear was now this book that took me a long time to write. If I go lose this project now, how I go take start time afresh? How? How will I? Because some of the inspirations now that I got before, I don't forget them. I've forgotten them. I can't remember them again. I say, God, I knelt down and I was praying. I knelt down and I was praying on my bed. What is the meaning of this dream? And God, do you know what? God has interpreted the meaning, everything, the meaning of the dream to me as I knelt down praying on my bed.